Hey there, I hope you're all fine and welcome back to the Divine. It's been a while, but I'm wishing all of you guys a happy new year and a good start into 2023. Today we're going to get things started with a 2023 general prediction. As you can see, I'm currently shuffling the cards because I decided I want the higher power to decide for themselves what kind of options they want to give us for this upcoming year. I do want to say that the aim of this video is not to give you super detailed predictions such as this specific event is going to happen at that specific time, because first of all, this is a general reading that a lot of people will be watching, and I also think that our free will plays a big role when it comes to things like this. I could tell you anything, but you pulling through with it, that's something that's not in my control. So the aim of this video is more so to give you a general assessment of what the energy of your upcoming 2023 year is going to be like and what kind of potential there is. What exactly is there that wants to be expressed? What should you use this year for? So in a moment, I'm going to make you choose between a few cards, and if you feel like it, you can also watch multiple groups, as many as you want. Do what you think is right, and I hope you have a lot of fun watching. By the way, I also offer personal readings. My shop is back open, so if you're interested in getting some guidance, check the link down below in the description. So, we've got the black bear, the unicorn, the hawk, and the penguin for our 4 piles. All right, without thinking about it too much, just make your decision based on what your intuition is telling you, okay? Where do you feel like your 2023 energies align? You don't need to read these keywords even. We're going to go through them together after you've made your choice, okay? So yeah, I'll see you at your reading. Hey there, group number 1. If you chose the black bear that also acts as a guardian, I want to welcome you to your 2023 reading, because we're going to see where the energies are going and what your 2023 is likely going to be like. First of all, I want to hit you with this. There's going to be a big hibernation period coming up for you this winter. For some reason, you're going to be in a more reclusive mode, recharging your batteries. Maybe this is because you are required to study a lot or to gain a lot of information in this winter. Work hard, become the best version of yourself. Like, this is about gaining knowledge and working on you, for you. And then it's going to go boom. In about like late spring, early summer, you're going to really come out of this cocoon with all the things that you've learned, with all the wisdom that you've accumulated, and something big is going to happen. Because right now you're developing, you're in learning phase, you're in preparation for something huge that's going to happen, like when the hibernation is over. In upcoming summer is going to be very, very big for you. And up until then, I can tell that you're preparing for this huge event that you know is going to happen. You're someone with a very, very strong intuition. And you can tell pretty much when something is meant for you and when something is not. When people are being sincere with you and when they're not. Which is why you've decided to keep your circle rather small. It's like you have this circle of people you know will have your back. And even if they don't, what can you do? In the end, you've always got yourself. This is what matters. I feel like you're in a way becoming independent whilst also being there for the people that are closest to you. For you, it's not a big, huge community with everyone always knowing what's up with you. You do live a rather private life for some reason. Like you do prefer to be secluded here. I'm just getting, there's a lot of time that you're actually choosing to spend with yourself for like maybe the first half of the year, or like this hibernation period that lasts from the winter that we're already in to maybe spring or summer, okay? This is actually a conscious choice that you've made because you want to self-improve, you want to self-evolve, you want to become the best version of yourself. And this is why that it's happening the way that it is. Also, I'm getting there's something about having to work or study and wanting to just make the best use of this time. And the best use of time is not always to be super social and go to a lot of events and meet a lot of people. No, the best thing that you can do right now is to really focus on yourself, on your growth, and on your own soul's evolution. And when you're ready, and trust me, the time will come, you're going to be putting yourself out there again. Okay. Yeah, let's get you some more cards. Let's see if we can get maybe like a rundown of your upcoming year, 2023. All right. For the Black Bear group, what is their 2023 going to look like? What is it going to be all about? We've got the card of exhaustion, the miser, and existence. This is actually a pretty beautiful combination of cards because it shows you how you're going from one mentality or from one reference point to another, and what you're discovering throughout the year. Now, I don't even want to spoil this to you because it does feel like a pretty big revelation that you yourself are having in your life. But I'm going to give you a little hint. You're going to feel very, very depleted with all this life energy that is unused. Maybe you are in a job that you don't like, or you are constantly giving your energy, maybe studying something that you're not even interested in, or just in some type of way giving all this precious energy and time that you have to something that feels totally out of alignment with your highest purpose, with your higher purpose. So naturally, this exhausts you quite a bit because think about it. If you truly like doing something, it's never going to feel like a chore. You're always going to have a lot of love for it. You're always going to have fun doing it. And there is just something that I'm seeing that has to do with you making adjustments, whether that is to switch around your attitude and gaining some more discipline towards what you're doing, or maybe this could also be a complete change where you're like, you know what, I'm not having any fun with this and I need to go after my passion because otherwise I'm never going to feel fulfilled. But in 2023, the motto that I'm getting is things that are not meant for you, they're just gonna stop working. Like it's literally gonna collapse. You can no longer ignore what's meant for you. You can no longer do things, at least with you, group one, you can no longer do things that you're not in alignment with, that you're not passionate about. Your body will literally shut down. You're unable to do anything unless it's truly in alignment with where you're meant to go, unless it's truly in alignment with what your soul is wanting you to do and in what way it is wanting you to express yourself. Okay, I'm also getting this sort of attachment to like the physical things that is going to, go do a complete universal. Like it's no longer important to you at all. Like for example, if you've been collecting something, or just even if it's just money or some sort of physical possession that used to be very, very important to you, I'm seeing a complete change of heart. Like You realize that's what's important to you is just being in the moment, just existing. It's like you're now collecting memories over things. In a way, I'm getting you're becoming less perfectionistic about life in 2023 and just enjoying being in the moment a lot more, just vibing and existing in the presence of whatever is. Because there's no longer a black and white thinking of this is good and this is a bad experience. No, in fact, you're going to be wallowing in whatever life throws at you with grace and with passion. If it's a bad situation that you're being put in, you can immediately recognize the lesson that is concealed within, and you can make use of it. And you're going to say, thank you, universe. Thank you for putting me through this. I can see how in some way, or maybe in the future, going through this hardship will have benefited me. I can see how right now it might be disguised as a negative experience. This experience has something important for me that I meant to take away. So I say thank you, universe, for all the things that you allow me to experience. I feel like you just have a thinking that goes beyond the present moment. You're learning to think beyond what's good for you now or what might be bad for you now and start seeing the bigger picture. So in another way, I'm seeing you guys develop a lot of discipline. Not all things are always fun to do in the moment. And, you might not want to get up for work at 7 in the morning or work out to get that dream body, but it's necessary. You release those blocks that are present, or this, I want the end result, but I don't want to work for it. You realize that, to get to that end result, you're going to have to drop those blocks and limitations that are standing right there, the obstacles that are preventing you from getting to the end goal. Because yes, you want the end goal, but you're not willing to work for it. So in 2023, you are really, really developing the discipline that is needed for you to reach those end goals. Because they're not even that far out of sight. They're not that unattainable at all. It's just your attitude that you need to realize you need to do something to also get there. So what you're also realizing in 2023 is that money does not make you happy in the long term. Yes, I agree that having a lot of money just releases a lot of fear. It makes a lot of things easier and it releases the burdens, but it doesn't make you truly happy. And this is also one of the lessons I don't even want to spoil for you, because that's something that you're going to be learning in 2023. Because for some reason I'm getting there is a big influx of money. You're going to be having so much money you don't even know what to do with. And then in the end you realize, okay, well, I now that I've bought everything that I wanted, actually the physical possessions, they don't even make me happy. I want to go back to just being in the moment. I want to go back to those simple memories. That is where you find the key to life. Just being able to make memories that last. So yeah, these are all lessons that you're going to be learning throughout the year. I would actually like to get in some more oracle cards. Okay, could you talk a little more about 2023 for the Black Bears? Group 1, the Black Bears. We have a breach and karma DNA. Breach. It's like you're getting a taste of how good life can be. If you stay disciplined, if you follow your passions, truly follow your dreams. You know how a whale spends most of its time underwater, right? But when it does come up, it catches a glimpse of a world unknown to him. And this is how it's like with you, because right now you're staying in your little bubble that is certainly comfortable for you. And I know you're going to be staying there for a while, but there's gonna be this point where you will be putting yourself out there. When you do come up, okay, to the surface, you see that there's a whole world of people who do things that you have only been dreaming of. It seems like, you know, the whale. I know this is a stupid example, but the whale, he's on the water, and whenever he surfaces, he's gonna be like, oh wait, there's also people who walk on the land. Land people. So it's like there's something maybe that seems so unattainable, but you're going to catching a glimpse at a new world where you will see people doing things maybe that you want to do as well, or that inspire you so much, where you're going to say to yourself, wow, I never thought that there's also people who do things this way, or I never thought that it's possible to live life in the way that I desire. Like, I never thought it was possible. But yes, your dreams are actually attainable. They were put into your mind for a reason, so that you can go after them and reach them. They are not that far away from you. You can achieve your dreams in this lifetime. And also this ties in with a DNA and karma. There's a lot of maybe familiar patterns, like from your family or from your line, where things have always gone a certain way. Like in your family, maybe there's just one way of doing it, and people are expected to follow along with how that way is, with how things are done in that fashion. And there is no room for discussion. It's just, you know, you're born and you're maybe your life is already planned out for you. But I'm sorry to your family, but you're not supposed to be the person to follow along. You're supposed to be the whale who actually gets a taste of something else, who actually sees a world that is totally different to what he's used to, falls in love with that, and then says to themselves, I will do anything in my power to become part of this, to make this change, to break this pattern. Maybe it is even a pattern, I won't lie, for some of you guys, it could even be a pattern of poverty, or just a very negative pattern where you have nothing and you constantly remain there. You're meant to be the person to break the pattern. Your higher self will be speaking to you, and I feel like you guys, if you don't know it yet, what your purpose is, what you came here to do, I can tell you deep down, I feel like you already know what you want to do and what you came here for. And if not, then it will reveal itself likely to you throughout the next year, because it is all about, the first half is all about self-discovery and becoming firm in your position, getting disciplined, and then really working towards what you want. That's what the first half of the year is all about. And this purpose is going to invigorate and become stronger, strengthen. So this higher calling that you have, it's like also your higher self is trying to speak to you, get you on the right track. But it's up to you whether you follow along or whether you keep doing what you're used to, whether you keep doing what is comfortable, or whether you finally break out. Okay, that's your choice. So yeah, this is the advice that I can give to you for 2023. Actually, just because I'm curious, I want to ask the universe, what happens after this group is done with their hibernation? What happens when they are done hibernating, when they come to life again? What happens when they are done hibernating? Okay. Yeah, just the schizophrenia card seems to want to come out. So let's talk about this a little bit. So when the winter is over, when the hard work is done, when you've completed your studying, when you've finished reading all the self-improvement books until they start growing out of your ears, there's an important realization that is to be had, and that is that real life can actually be a lot different, or can actually be a lot to handle. Like everything is easier in our imagination, and then when the reality hits us, it's like, whoa, I didn't expect this. Like, we do tend to have some sort of ideal vision, so you need to be prepared to actually pull through. You need to really toughen up and be prepared for any sort of obstacle that you may be hit with. Maybe there's some sort of decision that you're avoiding now, but at that point, at the latest, like as soon as you come out of this hibernation phase, you're going to have to make this important decision. It's like you're holding the power in your hands, the power to decide for you in your own life what to do next. And it seems a little scary because it could also be the case that you're trying to put off this decision for as long as possible because you don't want to deal with it, but it's going to hit you at one point. Like, hey, how are we going to decide? Which way are we going to go? Because at one point, you will no longer be able to do both. Okay? So, yeah, this is a huge decision. You're meant to go on either the green rock or the red rock. There's going to be a point where they're going to drift so much apart from each other, farther and farther, where you can no longer climb onto both. You can no longer be in the middle. You're going to have to make a decision. Green rock or red rock, which life do you want? Okay, these symbolize two different lifestyles that you're currently living. Currently, you're able to fit them under one hat and live them both. But there's gonna be a decision, an important decision to make at the end of this hibernation phase, where you can just no longer do both of these things. Maybe you don't have the time or the willingness, or just simply they are no longer in alignment, and you're going to have to make this decision. Which life am I going to live? So if you know what these two different rocks are all about, start thinking about which one you're going to be standing on at the end of the day. Okay, which is the life for you. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. I won't lie, this is an important year for learning lessons, for important takeaways that are meant for your soul's evolution. Like, I don't know if this was like rather harsh with the messages, but actually I don't think so. I think it will be a beautiful year, and I would rather give you something useful to work with. Okay, so that was my intention, so I hope I was able to do that. Actually, I do offer personal readings, and I do offer month by month detailed readings for the upcoming year as well. If you want to know from January to December every month in detail what's expecting you, well, that's also something I offer. Okay, with that being said, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Let me know down below which pile you chose and what you thought, and yeah, I really hope to see you again soon. Goodbye. Hey there, group number 2. If you are part of the unicorns, if you identify yourself with this card, let's see why that might have been and what your 2023 is going to look like, all right? So with this reading, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction. Let's say we could also say preparation, so that you can know what to expect in this upcoming year. Let's see what this card says. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. This is a pretty powerful card. And I want to begin by asking you, what is your limit? What is your limit? And where do the doubts start coming in. Because that is important, I feel like, for you to consider. Where have you set your limit to what's possible? Let's think about it. As an example, if someone says, well, actually, I don't believe you can become a millionaire. That's impossible. Well, they are actually damn right, because they are never going to become a millionaire. That's where they set their limit to what's possible. I feel like we all have this invisible guideline where we judge, okay, this seems reasonable and this seems impossible. Whatever you think is impossible, I'm sorry, but that's actually also not going to happen to you, because you don't have that capacity of imagining something beyond what you think can happen. And this is not about simply saying something, this is about what you truly believe. Whether you truly believe something is possible or subconsciously believe that it's not, then that creates a blockage. Let's say you want to manifest tons of money, but then subconsciously you think that's actually not possible, or you don't deserve that, or you're actually meant to be poor, then it's not going to manifest for you. Because what's on the inside is always going to reflect what's on the outside. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you that you're always going to get exactly what your limits are. You're always going to get exactly to what you think you deserve or what you think is possible. So, did it already click with you? Like, if you want more for yourself, you also need to drop all the layers and start believing that you can have it, that you deserve it. Another thing, just because something hasn't been done before doesn't mean it's impossible, doesn't mean it can't be done for the first time. Even what is fact today had to be discovered by someone for the very first time. And I'm getting that you're also meant to discover something, or if this is a way of living. You don't always have an example or a role model for everything. Sometimes you just have to go through with what your intuition is telling you to do, even if it seems like no one's ever done it before. All right, I would like to get you some more tarot cards. There is quite a lot of darkness in all of our lives that comes in the form of people that have their limits so low you almost start believing them. Let's say you have a parent or someone in your family who has their limits set so low of what is possible, because they live in this little world where they are so convinced that there's only one way of living. But you know better. You know it's possible differently, but they will never be they will never be able to understand that within their little bubble. So, where do you set your limit to what's possible to you? Because maybe even subconsciously, you also have a limit of what's possible to you that you're not willing to admit. And then you're complaining, why am I not getting the things I want? So yeah, surrender and trust in universal workings and drop the layers, drop these judgments of, okay, this is what I can do and this is what I can't. You can do anything you want if you truly want it bad enough. If you drop this black and white thinking of, okay, this is possible and this is not. This is simply not meant for me. This is simply not, like just by saying, okay, this is simply not meant for me, you have made a judgment. You just made it not meant for you by saying that. Let's get you some more cards. Let's see, what is the year 2023 going to be all about for the unicorn group? What is the year 2023 going to be all about? You have receptivity, the burden, and what is the outcome here? And postponement. Okay. I feel like in your upcoming year, you're distancing yourself a little bit from all sort of judgment. Instead of making judgments as of like, this is good and bad, this is possible and not possible, you're simply going to be receptive towards receiving information and being shown a better way, being shown what can happen. You're simply, for once, going to stop using the mind and just letting things be, just existing, just letting the things happen to you and not making a judgment off of them. This is going to be for you, I feel like, a very personal year where a lot of personal truths are being revealed to you, and where you're going to be learning about yourself and getting to know yourself, because the focus will be on you. This is going to be the year where you learn to be in harmony with all things, and you actually realize there's no need to judge things. There's no need to put labels on things. There's no need to have any sort of expectations, because things are just as they are. It's neither good or bad. They are just as they are. You're learning to accept people the way they are. You're able to see them for who they are. Like this is a very intense experience that you also have bonding with other people, because you, you especially, you have a really good time reading people, and you can always see right through them. You can always see right through all the layers, all the masks that people put on. You can, for some reason, always see right through it. And this allows for some very, very intimate moments to happen, because I'm getting that you're bonding with people truly on a soul level. You get to know their soul, they get to know yours. This can get very, very vulnerable. I don't know why, but like I see you going on dates, and it's going to be very, very intense. There's going to be a lot of emotion involved, unless you have your person, and maybe with your person, it's going to be very, very intense, because for the first time, you're also revealing the rawest version of yourself to other people. And this is beautiful, because it's you that encourages them to also reveal this raw version of them. Okay, that was not conditioned in any way by society or other people's expectations. Like, you have a really good time actually bonding with other people this year, because you're showing them who you truly are and allowing them to be themselves. For some reason, I'm getting people feel so comfortable around you because they can just feel that they can be themselves. And this is very nurturing for them. This year, all expectations are going to drop. There's going to be a reform of the mind and what you deem as important. Also, there's not just like the expectations that you have of things, but also the expectations that people have, or other situations and things have, of you. So that is going to change. The fact that you no longer live up to what other people want you to be, instead you are becoming so convinced of this vision that you have for yourself. There's only one more way for you to go, and whoever does not agree can leave. They do not support you. It doesn't matter to you anymore. You do not care, because this light in front of you that is showing you the way is becoming stronger and stronger. It's gleaming and glistening. There's only one way for you, because you are so convinced in what your purpose is. And I won't lie, on the negative side, this can make you completely shut down other people and what they think. Sometimes I feel like you can see things as a critique and take it to heart, take it personal, when in reality I feel like this is just a burden for you yourself. Okay? Because you don't have to take things to heart. You can still listen to what people have to say, and if you don't agree with that, you don't have to. I just feel like this year you're becoming a lot more mature. Once again, there is no black and white, there is no right or wrong, there is no good and bad. That's what you're realizing. And I'm getting you're also, instead of just immediately becoming offended by things, and instead of creating your own burden by just constantly running away from everything that is not what you want it to be, and everything that does not agree with you and how you do things, instead, this is now the next level. You're actually trying to understand people's viewpoints that are totally opposing to your own, that are totally different from your own. You're no longer, I have my way, and that's all there is for me. I don't even want to listen to anything else. Now you're like, damn right, I have my way, and I'm going to show you why that is my way. I'm also willing to listen to your way, but in the end, if we don't see eye to eye, that's just how it is. I'm just feeling like you're becoming more secure in the way that you live your life, in the way that you see things. You're able to have conversations with people who have a totally different viewpoint. You're able to have conversations with people who even are the opposite of you or think the opposite way from you. And yeah, you might even purposely try and seek out opposite opinions sometimes because you want to understand how do people think. I want to tell you that nothing is actually a burden until you make it one. I feel like you're going to be able to handle problems in a more efficient way where there are no longer problems to you at all because you just learn to deal with the root cause of things. If there's a problem, you're going to face it right away so that it doesn't fester, so that it doesn't create any consequences. If there's something not working out, you're going to address it right away. I just feel like this year, there's so many things for you to be learned. This is a very interpersonal year, a very personal year for you and your journey. As I said, some things are actually going to be delayed as well. If you've been looking for some change, if you've been looking to do something specific next year, maybe that's also going to have to wait a little, because this interpersonal journey is always going to be at the primary importance. Okay, let's get you some more cards. Can we get some more info about 2023 for group 2, the unicorns? So we have power, strength, and promise. Wow. Power, strength, and promise. You're definitely becoming a force to be reckoned with. You're a very, very powerful player for some reason in maybe whatever career you have or whatever your personal values are. Once again, you're becoming more secure in them, and you're able to have even not arguments, but like conversations with people who think differently from you, whereas you maybe used to run away from those kinds of people. Now you're actually entertaining the thought that there might be different opinions to your own, actually wanting to understand them and why they think the way they think, because now you're convinced of your own. There is no need to run away from people who do not think the same way, because you know what you think, you know who you are, and their opinion is not going to change that. Okay, so we have a promise on a new moon. Let's see, is there anything else? I feel like there's one more card that wants to come out. Gaia nurturing. Okay. So, I feel like there might actually be a postponement coming up that was actually something that was purposely postponed by you, or something that has great importance to you now. Let's think about it. Let's say you urgently feel like you want to get this job, or you want to travel to that place, or you want to get into a relationship. Like there's just seems to be this need for it, or you have any sort of desire. But as time goes by, you're going to realize, actually, I wanted less and less because I prioritize other things now. And where this desire of mine is still important, I choose to remain with something else now so that I can focus on myself, because before I can fully give my attention to that other desire, whatever it may be, because it doesn't seem to be the right timing for you to get that desire or go after it in the present moment. You're going to realize that very soon. So I feel like you're also going to make the choice to put it off until a later time, or there might be a huge event that you're planning for the next year, maybe at the beginning, that you're going to postpone rather towards the end, because you realize maybe it's just not the right timing for it just yet. Or maybe you thought you really wanted to be in a relationship or get that job or get this done, and you realize, actually, I'd like to wait a little longer. It's not the right timing for that yet. Most of this year actually is meant to be about you and how you connect to yourself. And then throughout this year, you're going to also be connecting to other people. You're going to be showing this true vulnerable side that is now empowered to other people. And you're going to get one of the most amazing responses back from them, which is sincerity and their vulnerable side as well. This upcoming year, you're going to be spending out in nature a lot. You're going to be bonding with the creation of Mother Earth. Something about trees, something about like a national park, or you're doing some sort of a tour out in nature or something. You're being really called to do that, or maybe visit like a national reserve or something like this. Yeah, you're going to be spending quite a lot of time outside, especially if you've spent a lot of time on the inside previously. It's like you're falling in love with nature. There's also something that is taken outside, from inside to the outside. Maybe you used to always read inside. Now you're going to read books outside, or you used to work somewhere on the inside. Now next year you're going to be working somewhere on the outside. That's also a thing. Like something that used to be always done inside is now done outside. Also, maybe some of you guys are moving to a new place that has a garden or backyard or something like this, which allows you to do certain things outside that previously wasn't possible to. Okay? You're becoming a stronger version of yourself as the year goes by, and you're investing in yourself this upcoming year. You'll realize that there's nothing stopping you, that there's nothing unattainable to you. Whatever you set your mind to and what you believe in is possible to you. I'm just getting that you now have this very wise ability of knowing, okay, I don't always need things immediately. I don't need things right now. Sometimes it's actually wiser to wait a little bit until the circumstances change. With this, I'm just thinking, you have the promise that you're going to have whatever you want anyway. It's just about figuring out when that is going to be, and if right now would really be the smartest time for that to happen. And this is where you're considering. If the need for pretty much anything is big, You're going to have to ask yourself, is right now really the right timing to have that? Especially if it doesn't seem to work out anyway with all the circumstances. If you don't even seem to find it anyway, well, maybe it might not be the right timing. There might be some postponement going on here, okay? The possibilities are endless. It just pretty much depends on what you feel like you deserve and what you feel like is possible. And then everything else is going to be based off that. You can create whatever you want in your life, so stop creating limits for yourself. Thank you so much, Group 2. I hope that you enjoyed your reading. This was just supposed to give you a little taste of what 2023 has in store for you. I do, however, offer personal readings as well, including a very detailed month-by-month forecast of the upcoming year from January to December every month in detail. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to check it out. I'm going to leave all the links in the description. Also, let me know down below what pile you chose and what you thought. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye. Hey there, group number 3. If you chose the Hawk, this is going to be your reading about what your 2023 will be like. A little introduction to your upcoming year. So let's see what the card says. It says, Spirit is sending you messages. Open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on your priorities and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. All right. So I want to first of all tell you that what's meant to be, what's meant to happen will always be, will always happen. And you are going to be in the constant flow of life, just going with the flow, seeing where life takes you, where of course you have a mental plan ahead. You have an idea of what you want your life to be like and where you want to go. And this idea is going to be executed by you. You have a very, very clear vision of this. And you will be heading towards your goal with discipline and discernment. However, a lot of the circumstances, a lot of the as to how you will get there, you're going to leave it up to the universe because let's face it, not everything is in our control. You're going to do the best you can, but all the little details, the journey itself and how it transpires, how you're going to get to this end goal, you do not need to worry about, because even if there is a lot of uncertainty right now, think about it. It never gets you anywhere to worry about it. So if something is not answerable to you as of this moment, in terms of how something is going to happen, how this is going to transpire, then it is not for you to think about right now. The answer will reveal itself to you. Something that I've observed from my personal life is that if you stop caring about how things are going to happen for you, like if you just eliminate all the doubts, if you just stop preoccupying your thoughts with fear, then the universe will always find a way, even if it's like last minute, but it's going to find a way to make things happen for you. So you don't need to worry about it, how am I going to get it? How will this happen? Well, if you can find a way, if it's not obvious enough, then the universe is working in the background to making things come true for you. If you're so convinced that there's something that's meant for you as part of your journey and you know where you're meant to go, then you don't need to constantly lose your mind and think about, well, how is it going to happen? It will. You just need to put some trust in it. The word is called surrender. So let's see. This upcoming year is going to be bigger and not necessarily better, because that's kind of like a subjective judgment, but it's going to be bigger for you in any way you can imagine. Let's say you've been doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You've been starting out somewhere in the previous years the 2023 year for you is going to intensify a lot of these things. Like now you're going to be bigger and better at these things, and you're going to see more success. You're going to also have to work more for it. Let's get you some tarot cards and let's ask for the Hawk group, what is 2023 going to be all about? Can we get a little bit of a rundown? Okay. Let's just get one more card, yeah? Okay, this is going to be a very, very exciting year for you to navigate, I won't lie. It says here morality, completion, and celebration. I also saw something about the rebirth and the rebel, so kind of like, you know, not caring what others think anymore because your light is so bright, your vision, you know what you want for yourself. It is much more important to go after that than to keep staying behind with the people who will never be able to understand your point anyways. Like, why would you wait for them? Just keep moving without them. If they don't see the value in you, if they are not willing to understand the reason you're going the path you're going, they're not worth to be waited for. They're meant to be left behind because they're dealing with their own problems, their own insecurities. And if they cannot evolve with you, I'm sorry, they're gonna have to stay behind. You're not meant to be a babysitter or some sort of guardian for them. You're meant to evolve. If they can't come with you, farewell. That's how I see it, okay? I also just want to say with the Queen of Swords coming up here, to give you a little bit of a, maybe, I don't want to say warning, it sounds so scary, but heads up that you do not have to identify with the way that the people in your maybe close field, let's say your family or maybe work field or just immediate field that you can't really always move away from. Like sometimes you always have to see these people whether you want to or not. You do not have to identify with their views, and I feel like maybe this is a general reading, but you might be prone to like taking on their viewpoint or like taking on their ways of thinking, their even attitude towards things. Therefore, you limiting your own abilities by identifying with those people, which you don't have to. Okay, I just want to put it out there. You do not have to become that kind of person because you're not. That's not who you are. You're not them. But just sometimes you can maybe feel that the longer you spend time around someone, no matter if you like them or not, you will start behaving a little bit like that person. You will start absorbing a little bit of who they are and accept it as part of your own. So sometimes when this happens, when you're surrounded by people that you don't even enjoy being around, that you don't even like, you can also see yourself accepting some of those parts subconsciously that you don't even agree with. I really want you to ask yourself what your personal morals and values are and what kind of like morals and values you have acquired from other people, maybe even without thinking about it. So like, how do you truly see life? What does it mean to you? What does anything mean to you? And then you're going to notice you actually carry a lot of beliefs from other people that were never meant to be yours in the first place. But at that time, it just seemed right to absorb them. At that time, it just seemed right to kind of copy these people and how they see the world. But you realize that there is something that can be dropped still, that is meant to be dropped. Maybe some sort of something about your discernment, the way that you view the world. is actually quite limiting when it doesn't need to be, because you are an endless source for expansion. You're constantly meant to evolve. But if there's something, maybe even like a limiting viewpoint that you have acquired from someone else just because you've spent so much time around them, that is now taking control of you, that is limiting the way that you see the world. Or if you're viewing the world through the lens of the limited view, you can only see so much. So I want you to think about what kind of values you've taken on that don't necessarily contribute, but maybe even hinder your life and your lifestyle. Because deep down, you know, it's not meant for you. It's just things that you might be thinking, why do I even identify this way? This is actually not me at all. So I'm feeling to be called to tell you this. Moving into 2023, you identify these types of viewpoints that aren't even your own, that don't even benefit you in any sort of way, and just drop them. I'm seeing that 2023 for you will also be a year where things finally fall together and are able to complete themselves. Because let's say you've been studying for something for so long, or you've been acquiring a certain skill, or you've been preparing for something, learning a language, whatever it is, becoming really good at a certain something. And in 2023, I'm getting you're finally able to put all the skills to good use. Nothing has ever been a waste. Nothing you did has ever been a waste, or there might be something maybe that you studied where now you feel like it's not really of a big use to you. Well, next year, actually, even if it comes as a surprise, you're going to be glad you did it, because everything that you ever acquired, some sort of knowledge, is going to come in handy next year. So also, if you felt the urge to acquire a new skill or read about a certain topic, that's probably because next year you're going to be requiring it. In 2023, it just feels like everything is falling together, and I can't even talk about a layer or about an area of your life in specific, because this seems to apply to all the layers. When it comes to your job, your career, the perfect for career seems to fall together. When it comes to your relationship, it just seems to complete, like your love life, it just seems to fall into completion. But this comes from a sort of level of expectancy. This is not something that miraculously just falls together because the universe decided to bless you. No, this is more like a type of attitude that you expect it to happen that way anyway. Like you went into the year with the expectancy for things to solidify, to finally become stable when it comes to your job and your relationships. And this is exactly the reason I feel like why things are finally starting to stabilize, because that was your expectation. I believe that we are the creators of our own universe, of our own world. And if we have some sort of intention, we can make that happen. And I just feel like that is the kind of intention that you have also for your life. This is no longer a roller coaster ride. Maybe that was what your 2022 was, or even previous years. But this year, it actually it's looking to be not even monotone, just like, you know, you're just driving on the road, finally knowing how to drive the car. That's how I feel. And even if it gets bumpy, that's okay, because you learned how to navigate the obstacles. I actually see there's going to be a lot of celebration for you as well, a lot of reason to celebrate. There's going to be milestones accomplished by you. You have certain goals in mind that are very, very attainable, that you can reach if you set your mind to. And yeah, go after it. I'm getting the number 100, so 100% or 100,000. This is a big milestone. Let's say like 100,000 subscribers, or maybe about like a six-figure income of at least 100,000 that you're creating. I don't know why I'm getting like this number of 100,000, but it seems to be relevant in your upcoming year. Okay, 100,000 is where you're going. Let's get you some more cards. What is this person's 2023 going to be like? The Hawk group, please. The Hawk group. Okay, you're going to be creating a lot of things. You're a very creative soul who's going to make their visions, creative visions, manifest into actual life, physical life, existence. Okay. I also keep seeing cards of like rebirth, but they don't want to come out fully, which might just mean, you know, you're this is a working that goes on in the background, your rebirth. It's not hugely dramatized and being shown to me as something that is super, super important, because I guess why? The reason is because you evolve every day. Your rebirth is every day. There's no need for me to put it out there because you constantly become a better version of yourself. Like every single day that you navigate on this earth, you become a better version and you evolve. So rebirth is happening to you every day. And it's always been like that. It always will be like that. We have submerged with the iceberg and stone people vigilance. This is quite interesting because you know how only about 10%, like the tip of the iceberg, is visible. And there's a lot hiding underneath inside the water. Well, guess what? It's also like this with you, where your shadow side, if you haven't worked with it, if you haven't integrated it into your life, might confront you from time to time, and shocking things are going to be revealed to you, good and bad. Okay, good and bad things. Not everything you suppress has to be bad, but a lot of it just simply can be. This can come from your childhood. This can come from trauma that was repressed, and you might seem like you have your life together and everything is going into the right direction, and then at one point the shadow comes up unexpectedly and seems to take over you, and you feel like you're back to square one, like you forget everything that you've learned. It seems like you just completely black out. And it doesn't have to be this way. First of all, it's important for you to recognize that this is a part of you that has been repressed, that is no longer in alignment with where you are in your life, that is no longer resonating with this new life that you have given yourself. However, it's still a part of you. So the challenge maybe for the upcoming year might be to integrate all the shadowy parts that are still there from your old life into your new life so that you can truly heal. So don't be afraid of your shadow. And please, I'm also asking you to look up videos on shadow work and actually embrace your shadow. It's not your enemy, even if it seems like it. It's just wanting to be accepted. It's wanting to be integrated into this new life. It's like you're going with your 10 children across the world and moving somewhere completely new, and then your children are going to start complaining because they don't speak the language. They want you to teach them. All these aspects of you that might be hidden or repressed, they're also wanting to learn this language of your new life and how to navigate. They're just wanting to understand how this new life works, because it seems like they don't. Also with stone people, like, I don't know, sometimes it can just feel like no matter how far you've come, something needs to happen and you're set back to square one, or at least that's how you like to feel. Like a small inconvenience can really disrupt everything for you when it doesn't need to be like this. For you, it's smart to always have the big picture in mind and realize even if you're set back, that's okay. Setbacks happen and challenges just occur. And even if you fail, it doesn't mean life is over. It means you'll learn something from it. For your pile, I just have this vision of someone just being able to drive on the road with all kinds of obstacles, no matter if there's hills and ups and downs and bumps on the road and stones covering the way and whatever, you're navigating. You're still driving. You have your license. You know you can do it. You know you're qualified. And it's that same thing with your life. You know you figured out the way to live, so no matter what obstacle is thrown at you, you're able to handle it. Okay, you know you can, you know you have the right qualifications to live life accordingly. Also, you do not have to always judge situations as either good or bad. Sometimes experiences just want to reveal themselves to you without any sort of label. Like sometimes things just happen. I feel like for you it'd also be great to stop judging things as like good and bad, and always like trying to question like, why exactly did this happen to me? I need to know the reason. I need to get to the bottom of things. Sometimes that's just not healthy. Sometimes things just happen. They do. You cannot change them. There's not always a reason for you to consider why this happened the way it did. If things are not flowing, if the flow of life is not there, then don't even entertain it. Okay? This is also something that I've been observing in my own life. There's this greater flow of things. And once you're in it, once you're going with the flow, life truly happens for you. You don't need to do a lot. It just happens to you. It's like you're just watching a movie and the things happen to you with you being the character. But then the catchy thing is you can easily get out of this flow again if you do something that you know is not in alignment with that flow. Like if you break the flow, if you stop the pattern, that's where it gets tricky, because you're doing something that has the opposing energy. It's like you're trying to swim against the stream, and you know that you're not meant to do it, but something inside you just seems to want to do it, and then you always realize in the end, yeah, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have tried to swim against the stream. Nothing really came out of it. So just follow the stream, just go with the flow and see where you're being taken. This also means stop forcing things to happen. Stop forcing connections. The people that are meant to be in your life, they will be. You don't need to run after them. You don't need to chase them. The situations that are meant to be there, the jobs that you're meant to have, the opportunities you're meant to go after, they will be there. You don't need to chase anything. Okay? It will be handed to you if you want to see it like that. Yeah. Okay, this is just what I'm seeing for your 2023. I hope it was helpful. I didn't want to get too many cards because I didn't want to overwhelm myself. There was already a lot of information coming through with just these few cards. So I hope it was also helpful for you. I wanted to give you a little introduction, give you a sample of what your 2023, mainly the energies, are going to be like in that year for you. So yeah, however, if you do want to get even more specific, I also offer personal readings, including a detailed 2023 month-by-month prediction that will show you what's going on exactly every single month from January to December. So yeah, I'm really glad to have your support. Also, let me know down below what pile you chose and what you thought. I'd love to know. And until next time, see you. Hey there, group number 4. If you chose the penguin, then this will be your 2023 reading, and you will see where you're headed for this upcoming year. Let's start by reading what the card says. It is the penguin that is authentic. Reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength where you face the storm. Love your uniqueness. You're full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations and just be yourself. You know damn well that you came into this life with a reason and a voice. It's just your responsibility to make that voice heard and respected. You know for a fact that you will never succeed by following someone else's lead. You in particular, you are meant to be the originator. You are meant to be the inspiration for other people. Up until that point, they can become that inspiration themselves. So this is the same way that it is in your life. You are meant to find people that inspire you, but you're never meant to find someone to be a substitute for what you actually believe in and what your own message is to this world. 2023 is going to help you in becoming more authentic, because that's what this year will be all about. You getting to know yourself better with the help of a lot of ups and downs. They are just necessary. I don't have any other cards yet, so I can't say exactly what's going to happen, but just be assured that whatever happens, good and bad, is for your soul's evolution. Because when it comes to your purpose, you are meant to be some sort of teacher, a speaker. You are meant to write books about your knowledge. Listen, it's up to you, because you have free will, what to do with this life. But you have a voice, and there is something about your life experience that is meant to be shared with others, that is to be preserved for generations to come. So be sure that whatever it is, whatever knowledge you have, whether you've discovered that yet or not, to preserve it for many generations to come, whether that is in the form of books or word of mouth. If you're a speaker, if you're a writer, if you're showing others, whatever it is, be sure that this knowledge does not go to waste, because it is so valuable. And where does it come from? It comes from you. You are discovering something important. You could also be some sort of a scientist or something, or an inventor who is the first one, who is the originator to come up with some sort of concept or some sort of invention. You're important to even the collective evolution because of something that only you can do, or something that only you know. And it is your responsibility, your job, to distribute this to the rest of the world. Okay, this is a big pile with big aspirations. Let's get you some cards here with the tarot. This is the Osho Zen Tarot, and we'll try and get some sort of a rundown of your upcoming year. What's 2023 going to be like for the last group, the Penguin group? What's their year going to be like? Okay, so first you're hit with a lot of guilt. We're starting the year off with a lot of guilt, for whatever reason that might be. How do we proceed after dealing with our guilt? What happens? Then the dream comes up. And what is the outcome of it all? 2023, what's the outcome of 2023 for group? Okay, so a lot of playfulness. Yeah, it's really okay. And the card of transformation just came out. Okay, I'll also include it. So we have some air, some water, some fire, and a big transformation that's ahead of you. So the thing here is, I don't know where these low vibrational feelings of I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, or maybe I'm not the one, I'm not meant for it, there's people better than me, better qualified, people prettier, people smarter, people whatever than me. I don't know where these thoughts come from, but they need to be dealt with and dropped, because I don't know, all this negative thinking, this guilt that has accumulated inside of you is seriously a big hindrance, because you need to start believing that you are the one authentic self, that there is no one like you. Society has certain standards and expectations, and you might not always fit into that. But isn't that exactly what makes you so unique? It just feels like you're on this journey of fully owning all of your qualities, all the parts that make you, you. You're starting to own that. The physical and the mental parts, the personal parts. You need to understand that there's truly no one like you. And by stepping into your authenticity, you are as powerful as you can become. You're becoming confident about every single thing that makes you you, and you're owning that. You're owning who you are. And this is a process, I feel like, that keeps on happening and going throughout the year of 2023. You're owning who you are, and you are learning to live with yourself in quite a comedic way. I mean, there's no other one you can be. You realize, hey, there's actually only one person to be, and that's myself, and I don't want to live with this construct that I have made of someone that is not me. Because I need to be me. In order to be happy, I need to be myself. I can only be myself. Otherwise, I can never become happy. That's the reason. If you keep wearing a mask of something that you're not, and you're showing this to other people, they will start respecting that mask and they will fall in love with the mask, but not really the real you. And wouldn't that be what you want? Isn't this what the journey of authenticity is all about? For people to respect you for who you are. Well, what keeps you kind of striving is this big dream that you have. It's this goal that you have in mind. You know you're meant for something big. For you, I'm feeling this, and you are willing to die for it. I feel like this is something so huge, a dream that you have. You're not even willing, also depending on where you're at in life, but at one point you're not even willing to do anything else. You're meant for this, you're meant for this one dream only. This is all that you want. So the dream life that you have is what kind of keeps you going, is what kind of keeps you motivated. No matter what happens, no matter how bad life gets, you always have this in the back of your mind. There's this goal that you have, and you want to get there eventually. So keep working, keep striving towards it. So the ultimate outcome is, I feel like after you discovering who you are in your true essence and then embracing that to the rest of the world, not caring what they think, will be a release from all the guilt, and will be a release from the shame, the bad feelings that when society told you, oh, it's not okay to be this way, or it's not okay to feel that way, or to look that way. You know what? You're starting to not give a f***. You're starting to just being yourself without all the expectations taken into consideration. You're no longer doing that. You're just being yourself, who you want to be, being playful like that. And let me tell you, maybe also this dream has a lot of delays, because in order for the dream to come true, in order for you to be this teacher that you're meant to be, or to be this voice, this inspiration for others that you're meant to be, obviously, you need to find yourself first before that can happen. So this is why the universe is putting you on this big task of finding yourself, as hard as it might be, and the universe is going to make it as hard as it needs to be for you, so you finally learn the lesson that there is no one but you. There is no one like you, no one who does you better than you. So that's the reason why you need to embrace that. The guilt needs to be released, the dream needs to be followed, and the self be embraced. Let's get you some more cards. Can we get some more info on 2023 for this group, Penguin? Invocation, release, and ebb and flow. It just seems like that you're strengthening the connection that you have with Source, and just releasing everything that's no longer needed. Some parts of yourself and aspects that might have served you in the past are actually hindering you now in this self-expression, because they're making it harder for you. So find out what it is that's actually making it harder for you to be yourself, and release that. This might be an ego thing, like maybe it's the need to fit into a certain box, the need to fit into a certain category that is so strong, that is limiting you from your own self-expression. So that's what makes it so dangerous. You're also I feel like intensifying the connection that you have to your spirit guides, or to God, or to the universe, or whoever you believe in. And you also realize that life operates in cycles. There is an ebb and a flow. Some are very tumultuous, where everything seems to happen all at once, where life just seems to explode with events. Everything's happening all at once. And then other times, there's not much going on at all. You're going to have phases of ebb and flow in your upcoming year, and it is in your best interests to act accordingly and to make the best use of both of these, because there's going to be phases or months where everything just seems to happen all at once. Like all the action is concentrated onto a few days. This might be the time where you're prone to having burnouts, where you're working a lot, where there's a lot of action going on. Then there's also going to be other times or months where there's not much happening at all. Where on the other hand, where you have burnout, you could actually succumb to boredom. This means it's a more passive phase of your life where you're meant to take in by reading books, by gaining knowledge, by maybe attending classes and learning something new. Whenever there's not a lot of active action in your life, this time is meant to be used for you to take in something, learn something new, gain a new skill or knowledge. Not everything's always going to be super exciting in your year. So when there's one of these more quieter phases, you know exactly why it's there and how to use it. Don't waste it. That's the biggest mistake, okay? So it is in your best interest to learn to navigate both of these things, knowing what to do when you're close to burnout and knowing what to do when you're in boredom. There seems to be a lot of possibilities for you to evolve as a soul that the universe is just giving you the time for. Like you're going to find a lot of time on your hands next year, that it's up to you how to choose how to spend this time. Whether you do something productively or not is up to you, but it just seems like there's so much room for growth, so much room for the possibility of evolving. And then when all the action is happening all at once, that is your active time, where you're meant to put those skills to use, where you're meant to see it as a test for yourself. Okay, how much have I learned? Learn how to navigate the highs and lows, the action and non-action in your life, because it's not always perfectly linear and it's always going to change. Your life circumstances are always subject to change. Yeah, there's a big transformation ahead, and yourself is wanting to express itself through you, because there is a greater purpose associated with that. You have things to teach to other people, but this can only take place when you have fully embraced the person that you are in all its qualities. This is exactly what you're learning next year and what you're going to be subjected to until you finally get it. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for being here with me. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I just wanted to give you a little introduction to what this year is all going to be about, what the energies are like. So I hope it was helpful for you. If you want more, I do offer personal readings, including a detailed 2023 month-by-month forecast from January to December for every month individually. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check out the link in the description. Otherwise, also let me know what pal you chose and how you felt about it. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope we see each other again soon. Goodbye.